to our live streaming on the series of why the wicked prosper while the righteous enjoy and falls, and to look at survival dynamics, and then supposed to relate to work, labor. Verse 17, I'll begin in the middle of the verse. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat of it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. Since from thorns and thistles, as you work on the ground, you find that there will be thorns which will be pricking you, either on your hands or wherever it is. So it will not be an interesting encounter as you labor to get your survival. Maybe if it is food or otherwise. Finally, it says, by the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. What does that mean? That this toil is not for a session, it's not for a period of time. You are told that your labor and your work in order to be able to survive will not be interesting from the time you are born up to the time you eventually return to the ground. That is the time when you die. Now, even though we are told that we will be laboring and sweating and having experiences which are not very interesting to us when we are looking for our survival, but now we find that it is very normal for a human being to want to live the easy way. Normally, a human being in sound mind will want to get the same ability to live, get food, get clothing, and put in minimum effort, if possible, no effort at all. A human being would want to get and not pay for it. A human being would want to get something and not labor for it. That is, the human being wants to, even if it is something that he can be able to pick or be given or offered in a particular way for him to find, so that he does not work for it. Even I personally, as a man of God, if I was given the option just to be able to sit and still be able to get my food, get my clothing, get all the use that I need, if that was an option which was availed to me, and still be able to live healthily and still be assured of whichever benefits I need and my relationship with my God, I would choose that option. I would feel that it would be better for me just to live and just move around, greet friends, see whoever you would like to talk to. But at the end of the day, you are guaranteed of your survival. That is the human mind. That the human mind is set that let me put in very little, and the little that I put in, I expect full benefits. In other words, if it means being given, acquiring, whether forcefully or otherwise, whether it is stealing, a human being would want to find the easy way to get something. But there are limits which make people not to behave that way. The first limit is the law. It is a constraining system that even though you may want to get something without working or without putting in effort, there is the law which defines how you are allowed to get something. That if an equipment belongs to your neighbor, for you to get it, first of all, you have to agree with that neighbor. And if it is that you are supposed to part with some money, payment, or other barter trade, or by money or otherwise, or if he wants to offer you, therefore the law will be restricting so that you are not free to do whatever you do. The other one restricting is about the norms of the culture. There's a difference between the law of the state or the society you live in and the norms. The norms we are referring to how people have agreed to stay, let's say the culture or something like that. That as a people of a certain group or society. There is a way they behave, there is a way they treat their property, there is a way they can acquire or get things. So the norms will restrict people when they attempt to do things in a different way from the way which is set to happen. The third, the third restricting factor is the public image or public perception. Much as you may want to do something and you're not restricted by the law, you're not restricted by the norms, you may also want to know what would my friends view me in their opinion. How will they view me? You want to have a certain perception in the society, and therefore, as you attempt to get things in the easiest method you want without partying with much effort or having no effort input at all, your public image will come in play to regulate your behavior and the manner in which you try to acquire or dispose of whatever you want according to your requirements. Finally, the repercussions will also come handy. They will regulate the way you behave. Repercussions may not necessarily mean that you have done something wrong and therefore the law requires the following things. We have talked about the law that obviously it will restrict the behavior of people. Repercussions, we mean sometimes you may rightfully be required to have a certain service, but due to some external forces or circumstances in that particular time, you may find that doing something may make people believe differently or people react in a different way. And therefore, while something may be yours, you may not invoke that authority at that particular time because the repercussions may make things to be a little bit problem. So, in short, we are saying there are four main issues which will regulate the way people behave. The first one is the law, and next are the norms of the society, what the society considers to be right and wrong. The public image that the person in question wants to portray will also regulate his behavior. Then the repercussions of upright law or the moral law in this